It's finally here. Week 1 of your fantasy football season. We're getting you some starts and sits. We're getting you ready. We're getting your lineups ready for week 1, baby.
Perfect.
We are back. Welcome back to the 4th and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Bandy. That's Trey, and the time is, of course, now. Buddy, what's happening with you?
What's going on, man? I mean, it's football time, baby. I mean, we've been talking about it for months. It's almost there. It's almost there. Well, it's here. It was last night. I mean, we had a game last night, Chiefs versus Ravens, and it was a very interesting game to say the least.
A game of inches, a game of toes now, I guess.
Yeah, just a little.
Oh, Isaiah likely, if he was a size 9, the Ravens would have likely won that game. Sorry, terrible setup, but you knew where I was going with it. Isaiah Likely, did you draft him anywhere?
Not in a single place. I did, however, go up against him in a league this week.
Oh.
However, I had Lamar Jackson on my side, so it kind of balanced out. Hopefully my tight end. I actually went and switched up my tight end though. One of those situations where you already feel like you're the underdog, so you got to take a tight end that you hope gets scores just a little bit to a tight end that is a bust or boom. You know what I mean? A guy that has potential to go crazy. So what I did is I took K. Dotton out, put Tyler Conklin in.
Okay, I like it.
K. Dotton, I was like, I just want 10 points. Tyler Conklin, I'm trying to get 20, could get 0. Yeah. But, you got to take that risk when you feel like you're going to lose.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you, man. The fantasy football season is ramping up, guys. Check out our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. We got our promo code down there, FLEXY. That's FLEXY. Underdog Fantasy, man. They'll match your deposit up to $100. You think maybe they got best ball and you don't have time to get in on this? That's incorrect, my friends. They've also got prize picks type over-under type stuff. Go over to Underdog Fantasy, use code FLEXY, and get flexy with it. I love it, buddy. I love it, man. I'm pumped. I mean, like that. You feel it, right? You feel the energy in the air.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
But we have got some stuff to get into, man. We've got some starts and sits for week 1, and we got a game coming up. So we got to get to the Packers at the Eagles in Brasilia. Starts and sits, Trey.
Yeah, over-under for this game is 49 points. Vegas have the Eagles picked to win by 2. Very interesting game here in Brazil. A lot of the players are kind of weirded out about it. They've been going through a lot of trials and tribulations about how to act and how to go. They're saying they're going to the game in armored trucks and not to leave their hotel. And, I mean, it's kind of an intense situation for a lot of these players. A lot of them have had to recant statements and stuff based on their reactions. And, yeah, so it's interesting, and I wonder how it's going to affect their gameplay.
I mean, what is it? It's just nervous over there, like what with security and whatnot. So they're kind of like just having issues with all that.
Yeah, and I think honestly, it's more of just the NFL protecting their players. The whole Brittany Griner situation. Ever since that happened, athletes leaving the country, they're just staying on top of it and making sure nothing bad happens.
I mean that makes sense. Christian Watson goes over there and walks into a bar and, says the wrong thing. Next thing you know, Romeo Doubs is the number 1 wide receiver on the Packers, right?
Hey, I drafted him.
Scary stuff, crazy stuff, but we're going to get in some starts and sits for that game because it's about to get ramped up. Let's start with the Packers, Trey. I'm starting Jordan Love up. He's one of those guys that, you waited a little while to maybe draft him, and you got some skilled players there, and I think that's going to pay off. Last 10 games of the season, he really ramped up. He had a slow start last season. I'm hoping that we kind of just go off the last 10 games and kind of keep that going. I really think Jordan Love is going to be one of those, guys who really is going to end up paying off, and we're really going to be surprised that we didn't take him higher in a lot of drafts, Trey.
Yeah, I agree.
And let's go on to Josh Jacobs, baby. Josh Jacobs season was about 2 years ago. Okay, that was on the Raiders. Nobody saw that one coming. There's some people that maybe think Josh Jacobs is going to be the guy, with A.J. Dillon going on to the PUP list. So 4 games out completely. They got the rookie there. Marshawn Lloyd is still a little hurt too. Give me Josh Jacobs, man, for some ground and pound, giving the Packers a good run game to go off of. And I like Christian Watson to start in this game. I mean, I know it's a scary start, and he's going like way down there, wide receiver 30-something. I can't remember exactly, but Christian Watson, I think, is a good start. And I think Dobbs is going to make, and I know that we've been saying this for a couple of years now, but I really think Dobbs is going to step up and do really well. So I like flexing Romeo Dobbs. I know he is probably somebody that you know, are not going to want to flex, but if an emergency happens, you know, I like him starting. Again, I might want to just say this off the rip, guys. Start your studs. You know, I maybe should have said this in the beginning. Start your studs. Start those guys you drafted. That's definitely something that you need to keep in mind, Trey.
Definitely.
I'm sitting to Dontavian Wicks. I'm sitting him, but I am keeping an eye on that man, because one of these guys go out, Dontavian Wicks goes up, and he might be on the waiver wire just sitting there. So remember that. Luke Musgrave, I'm sitting also, Trey. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I get Luke Musgrave. I think in certain circumstances, I think it's not a terrible start.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a last minute fill in tight end, but you're probably starting the tight end that you drafted. So
absolutely. Hey, we got our first question of the season, Trey. Andy Miller, okay, over on Twitch. How do you feel about the A.J. Brown matchup, assuming he will be against Jair Alexander for the Packers?
Yeah, man, you know, obviously that could be a little bit of trouble for A.J. Brown, but you drafted A.J. Brown in the second round. You're not setting this dude. You got to start him and hope for the best. I think he'll still do okay. Maybe not his best performance of the year, but he's definitely still going to do good for fantasy.
Yeah, I like it, man. You start A.J. Brown. You drafted A.J. Brown as high as you did for a reason. You start A.J. Brown, Jair Alexander. It's going to be a tough matchup, but he's a big-bodied receiver who will get to where he needs to get, and that's going to be on your fantasy rosters in week 1 starting. So start that man up.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's go to the Eagles. The Eagles starts, okay? Jalen Hurts, of course you're starting him up, one of those guys, quarterbacks that you took within the first 4 rounds if you're in a super flex league, but one of the top 4 quarterbacks to go off the board nonetheless. Definitely starting him up. Saquon Barkley will never be as healthy as he is today. Start up Saquon Barkley. A.J. Brown, like I said, start Devonta Smith, kind of one of those guys that you never really know what you're going to get out of him, but you're going to start him up. We're going to see what kind of season we're getting with Devonta Smith. Dallas Goedert. I just want you to know the offensive coordinator over there is they're wanting to use Goddard in different ways. Now, if Goddard can stay healthy, I think Goddard might be one of those sleeper tight ends that we didn't see coming and we all slept on, Trey.
Yeah, man. I mean, Goddard had several, great outings and showings, and he's shown signs of greatness. It's just that the team is going to utilize him in that way. Exactly.
And I just want to say one thing. Kenneth Gainwell is the handcuff, okay, to Saquon. Again, I said Saquon would never be as healthy as he is right now. Gainwell's the guy to step up if Saquon goes down. So just keep that in mind if you're one of those guys who like to stash players for a rainy day. Yeah, I mean, Kenneth Gainwell's not going to be an amazing RB, but if you're in some of these deeper leagues especially, there's not a lot of meat left on that RB bone over on the waiver wire, Trey.
Yeah, and especially with Boston Scott being gone, so it won't even be a split situation. Kenneth Gainwell will get all of that work.
Exactly. And I'm sitting Jahan Dotson, obviously. I really think that he has so much potential, and I'm so excited to see what Jahan Dotson on the Eagles looks like. Now, he hasn't been on that offense very long, so I don't even know if he knows the playbook as well as he should. I imagine they're probably going to play him not a ton of snaps. I mean, maybe he went home and he studied like crazy, you know what I mean? And I don't know, but I'm sitting Jahan Dotson, but I'm keeping an eye on him, Trey.
Without a doubt.
Hey, Koa Micah, what's happening? Saying hey over on YouTube. What is up? If you got a fantasy start question, go ahead and throw it in the comments, guys. Hit the like button no matter where you are watching us. I know there's a like button. Hit that bad boy for us. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. We're giving you fantasy football advice all season long.
Yeah, baby.
Andy Miller over on Twitch has another one for us. Do you think people are overreacting about the Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely situation?
It's very possible that it's a little bit of an overreaction, in my opinion. I still think, Mark Andrews was on the field for 30 snaps and Isaiah Likely was on the field for 20. So there's still a thing there, but Isaiah Likely is who Lamar has been targeting because obviously Isaiah Likely is the one you getting open. Mark Andrews just having that car wreck and causing problems there. So that definitely could hold back some things. I think it's going to be a little bit of up and down all year with the Likely Andrews situation. I don't want to part of either one of them.
Here's the thing, man. When Likely was like the guy and Mark Andrews was out, I wasn't seeing this type of thing. Maybe they are trying to use him in better ways, and I loved it, honestly. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen this coming. Now, is this something that's going to continue over the season, or was it just his game?
Right.
Maybe the Chiefs are a smart defense. Steve Spagnuolo's defense is a smart defense. When Mark Andrews was on the field, I'm sure they had him wrapped up because he is a big guy who can run great routes for a tight end. But I'll tell you this. People are going to overreact on lots of things. I promise you there. Wait till Monday. You're going to hear all kinds of crazy stuff on Monday. Overreaction Monday for a reason. Now, that being said, I'll stash Isaiah Likely, okay? When it comes to tight ends, if I can get a tight end that does half that work every week, I'll be happy for my tight end slot. So I'm definitely going to grab Isaiah Likely and maybe stash him if possible to see if this thing does continue and if this is something that we can count on for Isaiah Likely.
For sure. I would just say don't go out and spend your entire fab budget week one on Isaiah Likely.
No, me neither. I put him in a waiver. I spent $3 on him, just to see, if I get him for $3, cool. If not, oh well,
Yeah.
Great question. Keep the questions coming, guys. It starts and sits. Football is here, and we're ready to answer some questions. Definitely overreact the first game. Give him 3 more games. Koa Micah on YouTube talking about the Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely situation. Absolutely, buddy. Give it a little time, and we'll see how it shakes out. Let's go ahead and get to the next game, though. We got a division matchup in week 1. We've got the Panthers at the Saints.
Over-under for this game is 41.5 points. Vegas have the Saints picked to win by 3.5. This is one of those games, man, that's really going to probably define this division a little bit because a lot of people think the Panthers are really going to step it up. The Saints are not looking so hot. But they still have the Saints picked to win, so we'll see how that goes. Personally, I think the Saints will end up still getting the dub here.
Absolutely, I agree with you. The Panthers feels like they've gotten a couple pieces, but are those pieces going to make this a whole team? I don't think so. I've talked about how I feel like every person in this division. Every team in this division has gotten better, but I feel like the Panthers have done the least to get better. Obviously, they're still in that building type of phase. So I'm giving the Saints the W in this one too, Trey.
Yes, sir. But jumping to my Panthers starts, I'm not confident starting anyone on this team. Yeah. But if I had to throw some guys out there that I'd be willing to flex, Deontay Johnson, in situational situations, I think you could flex him. Adam Thielen, if you want to take that risk on the, this is another thing where it's, this is Adam Thielen's prime time as the first couple weeks of the year. He's getting older, but he definitely is doing some things. Chuba Hubbard is the starting running back on this team right now. I personally would not lean that way, but like I say, if you're looking for a flex and you're struggling, Chuba Hubbard might be a guy to go to. I'm not starting Mingo. The Panthers are on their tight end 3. Their 1 and 2 are both out, and that is Jatavion Sanders, but I'm not looking that direction. I'm pivoting somewhere else.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary going for many people on that team, Trey. But I like what you're going. I like Deontay Johnson. I've heard people go up and down on him, right? I mean, maybe a flex, maybe if there's no other choice, maybe in a 16-man league type of thing. I see that. Somebody's got to catch the ball over there, though. Exactly.
Jumping to my Saints starts. Not starting Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara, I'm happily starting. You drafted him to start him. You're going to start him. Chris Olave worries me, but we'll have to see. I think this game is going to calm a lot of people's feelings about Chris Olave. Not a lot of talk in the offseason. Not a huge, exciting show out last year, but I still think he's going to do well. Rashid Shaheed, I'm not starting him or Cedric Wilson, but Juwan Johnson, I have no problem actually sliding in certain leagues at tight end. I think he'll actually do good in this game, specifically against the Panthers. And Taysom Hill is my favorite person to start this week on the Saints. I think Taysom Hill has the potential. I'm going to guarantee 1 rushing touchdown, potential for 2.
Ooh, that's funny you say that. I was about to give you an over-under, over-under 2 touchdowns for Taysom Hill. I mean, you're calling it right here, at least 1 touchdown for Taysom Hill.
Yeah, man, the 2 is the line for me. It'd be really hard to say the over on 2, but I think he has all the ability to do it, but I almost guarantee he gets 1.
Exciting, man. Is the Taysom Hill hype real, or is it just another year where we're saying this is what they could do? I like it.
Every year, baby. Taysom Hill's back in the business.
Yeah, buddy. Before we get on to the next one, Koa Micah says 12-man PPR. My quarterback's Murray. My wide receiver is Debo, Xavier Worthy, Darnell Mooney. My running back's Bijan, Gibbs. My tight end is Mark, Flex, Warren, Bench, Higgins, Gus, Myers, Juju, McConkey. What are you thinking? I think that's McConkey, by the way. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this team. I like the Bijan Gibbs. That was probably a difficult task to pull off, to have those. It is scary, with Gibbs, with the calf injury and everything like that.
He's good to go.
But, Higgins, being doubtful, there's definitely some worries with this team. But I love the Murray, Debo, and your running backs, definitely. And then, Worthy, did his thing. So,
yes, he did. Yes,
yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, you liking Murray this year, ain't you? As your QB1?
I am. I'm liking Murray a lot. I think Murray was the value running quarterback in drafts this year.
Absolutely. And speaking of it, after week 1, do you like Worthy more than you did going in, or do you think it was just hype?
I don't like Worthy more than I did going in, and I don't like Worthy less. The guy had 2 catches, but he got 2 touchdowns. So if they're going to keep giving him the touchdowns and he's going to keep having breakaways, he doesn't need 10 catches. You know what I mean? So it's scary that he didn't get that many targets, but also this was a Ravens game. This was the first game of the year. A lot of different things. They're probably working things in and out, trying to see how things are going to go, what it's going to look like with certain coverages and how people are going to play in certain aspects. So I'm not even going to change how I feel preseason on Worthy.
Absolutely. I like it. I mean, Hollywood Brown is out, so that's another guy out of the offense that we're maybe not thinking of. You know what I mean? And just like I said, the hype due to Hollywood Brown being out, Komika says, played him for that reason. Komika put him in because Hollywood was out, and might have been definitely was a great decision. 2 touchdowns, man. But can he keep it up?
That's the worry.
That is the worry. I love it. Let's keep it moving though, buddy. Let's get to the next game. We've got the Vikings at the Giants.
Over under for this game is also 41.5 points. Vegas have the Vikings picked to win by 1.5. And I'll take the Giants here.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. I think the Vikings, Sam Darnold, they could probably get it done eventually. But I think there's going to be some beginning of the season jitters and things this team's got to work out. And I think the Giants, being not that they're the best team, but they've kind of got their things figured out over there to an extent where everybody's comfortable with the offense. And I don't know how comfortable the Vikings offense is.
I feel like that's a hot take. I'm taking the Vikings for the dub based strictly on my starts and sits list. I got one list that's like, meh, and I got another list that's like, meh. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel like the Vikings and Sam Darnold, it's Sam Darnold. I get it. Sam Darnold versus Daniel Jones. It's going to be a good one. You know what I mean? But Sam Darnold, really, I feel like he may have learned a lot, hopefully, on the Niners when he was there. We saw him come in, and maybe that was all Kyle Shanahan. Who knows? But we did see him come in and actually look like a serviceable quarterback. And I feel like that could boil over, being that he learned some things while over there watching, So that's the reason I'm taking the Vikings here. Also, he has Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to, which is one of my starts, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. I like Sam Darnold as a start in super flex, okay, or deep leagues. Basically just super flex, to be completely honest. Like make sure you realize that that's a super flex type of thing, okay? Like, don't flip out on me. I just feel like him against the Giants defense, I mean, it could go either way, honestly. And Sam Darnold likes to run the ball every once in a while, so there's that. And he feels like he's got something to prove. How many more chances is Sam Darnold going to get to be a starting quarterback? Now's the time, Sam Darnold. Yeah. Now's the time.
I feel like that's a hot take.
But Wait, what are you gonna do?
I digress.
Aaron Jones, start him up. I like it. Sam Darnold with Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison had the injury, but it's looking like he's good to go. I like Jordan Addison maybe as a flex here. Also, sit Josh Oliver. That's the tight end. Over there, sit that guy, the main tight end. Ty Chandler is the handcuff, okay, to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is another one of these guys that, he does tend to get hurt often, to be honest. So just keep that in mind. Ty Chandler, he probably got drafted in a lot of your leagues, but I imagine he'll hit the waiver if he doesn't do anything within the next couple of weeks. He might be somebody to grab up in case Aaron Jones goes down with a hamstring or something like he generally does, Trey.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead, get to the Giants starts. Malik Neighbors. I mean, he was drafted really high. I saw him falling in drafts, but I like Malik Neighbors as a start here. I feel like they're going to try to get him the ball early and often. There's just not a lot going on in the Giants, man. Wan'Dale Robinson is still there, but is he going to ever reach his fantasy potential? It's not looking like that's the case, okay? And in those deeper 16-man type things, I think you could flex Devin Singletary, RB1 over there.
I actually like Devin Singletary as a flex in regular leagues.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We saw Devin Singletary, the Texans, do pretty good last season, so I could see it, all right? And sit Daniel Bellinger and sit Wan'Dale Robinson. Like I said, we don't know if he's reached his potential yet.
I like it.
Oh, let's see. Tommy popping in the comments. What's happening, Tommy? Pollard or, you say hi. It's just... Give me the answer here. You know what I mean? I'm just messing with you, Tommy. Pollard or Brian Robinson Jr. PPR?
Yeah, man, I lean Tony Pollard here.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson Jr. over there with Austin Eckler, that kind of situation. Not sure how it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Titans, even with the new coach, I feel like they're going to lean on their running back, Tony Pollard, especially PPR situation. That's what they're going to use him for.
Yeah.
I think Tony Pollard actually has a really solid week.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. I like it, Tommy. And what's happening, man? What's happening, buddy? Hey, there he is. Ha. Go. Hello. Go Pack. Go. There he goes. Thank you. Hello, Tommy. Loving it. Showing us some love over here at Fourth and Flex. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're watching, I see a lot of people over there watching on Twitter, man. Go ahead and share that bad boy out for us, man. That would mean the world to us. Get it out there a little bit. Get a few more eyeballs on this thing. Let's get some more fantasy football questions down in the comments so we can keep it going, Trey.
Let's do it.
But let's move on while we're waiting for those questions to pop in. Let's move on to the next game, man. We've got the Patriots at the Bengals.
Yeah, man. Over for this game is 41 points. Vegas had the Bengals picked to win by 8.5. This is probably the saddest game of the week, in my opinion. I didn't think that there was a team that had more issues going on right now than the Bengals, but the Patriots, are a dumpster fire right now. But so are the Bengals, honestly, with all the things going on. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all these things. It's I just don't think this is going to be an amazing game. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I've got the Bengals taking the W, and just because we got Jacoby Brissett starting at quarterback, and yeah, Jacoby Brissett has had his moments where he really does some stuff. Just this Patriots offense is just not. It's atrocious. The mighty have fallen so far that the Patriots have become. I don't want to see TV. If I watch this game, it'll be strictly to see what Joe Burrow does with Jamar. Will Jamar play? Higgins is hurt. What's going to happen there? Honestly, if I watch this game, that's all I'll be interested in. But yeah, maybe watch Ramondre. See what Ramondre does.
Yeah, but go ahead and jump into my starts for the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson, if you drafted him, you're starting him. I'm a little scared of that, but if you drafted him, you're going to flex him. Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, I would say in deeper formats, I might be okay with starting him. I think that he's got a lot of talent. I just don't know how well it's going to do against the Bengals. Hunter Henry is really the only guy that I'm confidently starting in this game. I think that, Hunter Henry does pretty well in the first couple weeks of the year. This team is, Jacoby Brissett. There's new things going on. They're going to rely on that tight end spot, and Hunter Henry is that dude when it comes time to rely on tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And then KJ Osborne, wide receiver 3 on this team. I'm not saying start him, but I'm saying keep your eye on KJ Osborne. He's a really good receiver, just hasn't had that opportunity to really show up and show out. If this team is as dumpster fire as I think they are, and KJ Osborne emerges, I think he's the kind of guy on this team to be able to do that.
And I think Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, is going to surprise people. I'm not saying that he's going to give you a top 10 finish, but I say somebody look out for it, and he might surprise people in this game because, that is basically who else do they have at wide receiver over there? You know what I mean? Demario Douglas is basically it, Trey.
They got Jalen Polk.
Uh-huh.
And Antonio Gibson, a little bit of a wide receiver there.
I feel like we're gonna get some PPR stuff. Antonio Gibson might do a couple things. I think Antonio Gibson will do about the same amount of things as he done on the Commanders. He might be a deep flex start once in a while, but do you know when that week where he pops off is going to happen? No.
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest thing.
Antonio Gibson has been a fantasy football problem for years, even as the Commanders. When you had those full PPR leagues, you're like, maybe Antonio Gibson will get me some stuff, but it's just, you'd never know, and it's not worth the risk. But I see him down there on the waiver, so I will keep an eye on him because I could see him, doing some stuff, but will he be consistent? That's the issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moving to my Bengals starts, you got to start Joe Burrow. If you drafted him, you're starting him. Yeah. T. Higgins is doubtful. I do not think he's going to play, which, really hope Jamar Chase plays at that point. He act like even if they don't come to an agreement in the next couple of days, he probably will play.
That's what I heard.
But he's also coming out saying a lot of stuff and causing a lot of heat. They asked him how he thought, they said, you want to get paid more than Justin Jefferson. Is a penny more? If they gave you a penny more than Justin Jefferson, would you ride with that? And he was like, I'm trying to beat the shit out of Justin Jefferson. So no, a penny more won't cut it.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? So he's getting dirty with him. So
what's going on with him?
I know. And so it scares me. But if he does start with T. Higgins being out, I think he's a smash start, right? I think he's going to prove I need this contract. If he doesn't start and T. Higgins doesn't start, I'm happy starting Jermaine Burton. A little sleeper pick there that could actually show off in this game. And then when it comes to the running back situation with Zach Moss and Chase Brown, it went back and forth a little bit. Zach Moss is listed as the RB1.
Yep. I
think if I had both these guys, I would start Zach Moss over Chase Brown. But if I had one or the other, I would try not to start either of them. I would be trying to pivot somewhere else because you just don't know what this is going to look like. And then Mike Gesicki is a tight end. I'm not starting Mike Gesicki in week 1. He typically is more of a blocking. He's had some showing of being a solid tight end, but it's not something I'm going to risk in week 1.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. I'm with you all the way on that, man. I like it. I like it a lot. Good stuff. Let's go ahead. Move on to the next game, buddy. We've got the Steelers at the Falcons.
Over under for this game is 42 points. Vegas have the Falcons picked to win by 3.5. I don't know. The Falcons and their craziness and all the new things, I feel like, Bijan wins this game. I'm going to give it that.
I've heard people say things like everybody's looking at Kirk Cousins, but I think they think it's going to be a Bijan game. So it's funny you say, this Bijan will win this game because, Kirk Cousins will start week 1 with Michael Penix behind him. Okay. I got the Falcons taking the W2, man, and I don't like having the Falcons and the Saints both in my win column this week because I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I want these guys to all get L's, but I'm just saying. Let's get to some Steelers starts. Superflex. I'll start Russell Wilson in Superflex, okay? In those deep leagues, And I think Russell Wilson's actually going to surprise us, I ain't going to show nothing but hate like he has gotten, which he has earned. That hate, okay? He's been very cringy in videos and not good for fantasy for a long time. But there were moments where he was leading the fantasy points per game, okay? And last season, even on the Broncos offense, that was atrocious, okay? So Superflex, start Russell Wilson. Maybe keep an eye on him. There's a lot of leagues where most of the quarterbacks are gone, or there's not a lot of value there. Russell Wilson might be the value that you missed, okay?
Yep.
Najee Harris, I like as a start. I also like flexing Jaylen Warren, actually. He was hurt for a long time. Is he going to play? He's going to play. And I think you're going to get that old, who's better, Najee or Jaylen Warren? Jaylen Warren always seemed to be the guy who got the big yards, but Najee got those tough yards, okay? So I like flexing Jaylen and starting Najee just before we can find out how that's going to work. Let's see. George Pickens, I like starting him up. And Pat Freiermuth just got a contract. Congratulations, Pat Freiermuth. I'm going to start him up.
$48.5 million.
Exactly. I'm going to show you. You're going to have to earn that thing, bro. We're giving you targets.
Yeah.
Or you better be blocking like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I just want to say Van Jefferson is the wide receiver 2 on the Steelers. So maybe keep an eye on him. He's a deep ball threat. Russell Wilson can throw the ball deep. Keep an eye on Van Jefferson, okay?
Yeah.
Let's get to the Falcons, buddy. Let's get to the Falcons. I like starting Kirk Cousins here, okay? It's going to be tough, I think, in that offense. He doesn't know it very well, but Kirk Cousins has played that game where he's probably made more money as a quarterback. Like, he always hit it at the right time. Like, he was just always on the right team at the right time, and this guy has made his cheddar, okay? Start Drake London because I think Kirk Cousins can definitely keep Drake London afloat. Bijan Robinson, start him up, and I am sitting Kyle Pitts. Okay, I am sticking to my guns, and I'm sitting Kyle Pitts. If you drafted him as your only tight end, okay, I get starting him, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. You know, if he has a great game, it's just that overreaction again.
Oh,
you know, Kyle Pitts season, baby. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what will be coming if Kyle Pitts has a great game. But I'm not. You know, if he's my only tight end on my team, I'll start him up and just get my little, 6-7 points, depending on the type of league you're playing in, Trey.
Yep, I like it.
Watch Darnell Mooney also on the Falcons, so that keep an eye on that. Tyler Algier always finds a way to creep into our fantasy football live, so keep an eye on Tyler Algier too. But let's keep it moving, buddy. Let's get to this one. This one's going to be a good one. We've got the Texans at the Colts.
Yes, sir. Over-under for this game is 48.5 points. Vegas have the Texans picked to win by 3, and how could you not pick the Texans with the amount of offense that this team has? I mean, I think, I like the Colts a lot this year, but, the Texans, this is that game. I think this is going to be the biggest overreaction kind of game. If the Texans were to lose this game, you think that everyone would just be done already?
Definitely would be some outcry and like a lot of craziness going on there. But I've got the Texans taking the dub, so we're not going to find out, Trey.
I like it. Moving on to my Texans starts. I mean, you pretty much got to start everybody and hope for the best, right? You're starting C.J. Stroud. You're starting Joe Mixon. Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. You're starting all of them, but at least one of you are going to be disappointed, right? But you got to start them. You drafted them to start them. You drafted them as they were going to be the dude. And you got to see how it plays out. Dalton Schultz, I would personally bench because of those guys this week. I want to see how it plays out. I'd be worried, especially if I have 2 of these guys. I'm not starting 2 of these guys in any situation. It just scares me too much. But you basically take your pick of the Texans and put them in your starting roster.
It's amazing the turnaround this Texans offense has had, Trey. Like, I mean, give it not last season before that, bro. They lost every game, didn't they? Or they won one at the end or something. That's why they were in second place. Just insane that what came from that one win. Was it from the Texans, if you remember right? Lovie Smith, I believe, is the coach who made sure they won that game. It's amazing all the stuff that has come out of that and has made the Texans a team to watch, a team to enjoy. Stephon Diggs, like C.J. Stroud, like I can't wait to watch the Texans, Trey. I can't wait to see what this looks like.
I got one for you here. So you're sitting there. This is your bench, right? You got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. You got one wide receiver spot open. Which one are you starting?
I'm starting Stephon Diggs. I am.
Over Nico, over Tank Dell?
I'm going to start Stephon Diggs. I know he was lower in a lot of rankings, but I feel like Stephon Diggs is the type of guy week 1 to really just show up and show out. And I like, Stephon Diggs is kind of being underrated a little bit, to be completely honest. Nico Collins was the number 1 last season, and he had some games on him, but he also had some games where he was subpar. It's amazing that he actually is higher than Stephon Diggs. I think the only thing is the familiarity between quarterback and wide receiver that's keeping him above Stephon Diggs. But I think Stephon Diggs is actually going to surprise us a lot, Trey.
Yeah, man. If I had to pick a guy in this one, I'm going Tank Dell, baby.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Tank Dell has the highest ceiling, obviously the lowest floor.
He does.
But I think in situations, this man could have 2 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Easily, yeah. He is a deep ball threat. Before he got hurt last season, he blew up. We saw him out there going deep and just killing it, Trey. So yeah. I could see that. But I'm going Stephon Diggs here. We should find out. We should see who has the most fantasy points and see who's right. You say Tank. I say Stephon. Probably going to be Nico Collins.
That's right. Or Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz has 5 touchdown game.
Yeah.
Jumping to my Colts starts. Anthony Richardson, you got to start him up right now while he's healthy. Jonathan Taylor is a smash start. Michael Pittman Jr., I think you can start in this game, especially because Josh Downs is out.
Yeah.
But I'm not starting Adonai Mitchell, Kyle Granson, or Ashton Dulin. Just none of these guys are worth even looking at until they prove themselves.
Pity City coming back on the map, you think? Anthony Richardson, man, there's just I don't know. I'm not in on Anthony Richardson, man. I think he'll be good for fantasy, right? Maybe he's a running quarterback, but can you sustain that? Can he sustain the team by putting it all on his back? JT will be there. Will he take and pull from JT on more times than he doesn't because he wants to run the ball and be that showboat and be Lamar running over 100 yards on opening night? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I get it. I'd actually take the over on Jonathan Taylor 2+ touchdowns.
Look, you just spitting hot fire today, buddy.
I think Jonathan Taylor has at least one breakaway 40, 50-yard run for a touchdown and then gets a little two-piece in the end zone.
I tell you what, I'm sure pretty upset that we didn't get no breakaways from Derrick Henry last night.
Oh, man, it's devastating.
It is.
But, hey, it's week 1.
Yeah, it's
calm
week
down.
1. It's
calm down.
Steve Spagnuolo's defense. I'm sure they prepared. You know what's funny, Trey? If you watched our show, talking about that Ravens-Chiefs game, by the way, if you watched our show, we talked about how when there was that option play, Lamar could pull or give it to Henry. There was an option. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The defenses were going to be crazy on that. Like, do we stack and get Derrick Henry, or do we get Lamar, and which way is he going? Lamar and Derrick Henry really need to work on that. I really feel like that could be a game changer.
Oh, yeah. Put it under their jersey, slap it around the back,
Oh, yeah. Exactly. You never know, buddy. You never know. Good stuff. But let's keep it moving, yeah? Go to the next game.
Let's go.
Oh, man, this could be a good one. We got the Cardinals at the Bills.
Over-under for this game is 47 points. Vegas have the Bills picked to win by 6.5. And you know me, baby. I'm taking the upset here. Let's go Cardinals in this game.
Oh, man. I'm taking the Bills to get the W because they're the Bills. But, could I see it going the other way? Absolutely. I could definitely see that. But I'm just very confident in the Bills offense. And Sean McDermott fighting for his job. He's going to be doing everything he can to make sure they're pulling W's out. It's going to be sad that either one of these teams will have an L on their record, by the end of this week. It's just like,
yeah, man, it's definitely that kind of overreactive week 1. There's a lot of games set up for some big overreactions.
Mm-hmm. A1 to the schedule makers of the NFL, man. Nicely done. But let's get to some Cardinals starts. Start Kyler Murray. Start James Conner. Marvin Harrison Jr., you drafted him so high, you better be starting this guy up. Hopefully you get a Xavier-worthy type showing out of your guy, Marvin Harrison Jr. Trey McBride, I love as a tight end start. And I'm sitting Greg Dortch.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, let's see here. Hey, the Roll Fantasy Football's got a question for us. Hey, wait a minute. There it is. Justin Fields is starting, makes him a steal in round 11.
I wonder, because Russell Wilson was questionable. I wonder if he popped in they just popped in while we were on the show.
Did we miss it? Did we miss it? Oh,
maybe
man.
we did. That is a steal for week 1, baby. Justin Fields. Woo!
Give it to me. Hey, Fantasy Football Hustler popping in. What up, 4th and Flex homies? What's happening, Hus? What's happening?
What up?
Hey, got this one. What's the quick Ravens Chiefs overreactions?
Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Xavier Worthy to the moon. Mark Andrews is trash, and you lost your fantasy league if you drafted him. I mean, it's all over the place.
Isaiah Likely, tight end 1.
Travis Kelce should retire.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of them. I really, really had the Ravens winning that game too, man. You know what's crazy is I almost turned it off. I was like, when they were down by a field goal still, and then they needed a field goal and a touchdown, I was like 5 minutes left. It was getting late. You know, it was a late start in the game. I almost turned it off, but I literally turned the TV off and I walked to the bedroom and then I walked back out and I turned the TV back on. I'm like, no, let's see how this shakes out. Patrick Mahomes like to keep it close. You know what I mean? Let's see how it shakes out. Oh man. Thanks for popping in, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. The roll says I'm starting Fields over Young. Yeah,
all day.
I'll take that. Absolutely, buddy. Do that. Oh man, we must have missed it while we were live, man, that Russell's sitting out. I know he had an injury designation though, so there's that. And I just said, you know, we were just kind of talking about him, you know what I mean? Let's see. Poker Gut says, you got anyone from the game tonight, Trey? What do you got? I mean, I know I did that one. Let me scroll up. Don't forget where we're at, okay? Packers, Eagles, Brazil, Josh Jacobs season. Flex Romeo Doubs. I think Romeo Doubs might surprise us tonight. So there's that. Let's see. What do you got for the Eagles, Trey? Anything?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, like we said, A.J. Brown with Jair Alexander and everything like that. I still think he's a smash start. You drafted this guy to start him. You know, start your studs. That's what we do.
Absolutely. And Saquon Barkley will never be as healthy as he is right now. So make sure you start Saquon. You were going to do that anyways, though. And the Fantasy Football Hustler says Wilson is still questionable, so it's not guaranteed Field starts yet. Okay.
Heard that.
I thought maybe we missed it while we was live. And the roll says he's never looking back. That starting job is his.
We shall see.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But you know what, though? I will say this. As being Russell Wilson, having a guy that was literally a starter in the league last season looming over your shoulder is a great motivator. And it almost makes me wonder that if that was the key, you know, if that's what they were going for, you know?
I think they just got Russell Wilson for free and was like, take him.
They basically did get Russell Wilson for free. So you're right about that, buddy. Great stuff. Great stuff, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and show your boys over at Fourth and Flex some love, baby. And speaking of that, man, we do have a YouTube members only club also over on TikTok, man. Become a Flexaholic. Join the family, man, and you know, come flex with us.
Do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What kind of stuff we giving them, man? Joining the crew.
All kinds of stuff, baby. We got some hats. We got some shirts. We got some love. We got some fantasy advice. I'll give you a free hug if you show up.
Join in. I love it. Where were we, Trey? Did I do
Bills
the Bills?
starts.
You're right. All right. Yeah, we are at the Cardinals at the Bills. Did my Cardinals starts. The comments were popping in. I had to hit it up. But let's get this to Bills starts here. Start Josh Allen. And my start of the week, James Cook. Start him up. I love it. Let's see. Khalil Shakir is listed on the depth chart as a wide receiver 1.
Interesting.
It is interesting. It is. Dalton Kincaid smash start at tight end. Let's see. Curtis Samuel. I know he has a heel injury, but he has no more injury designation on him. Curtis Samuel, I think, is going to be great for your flex spots. He's probably over on the waiver wire right now. Curtis Samuel, man, a guy I've been blowing the horn on for a long time. So start Curtis Samuel or flex Curtis Samuel. And I like Keon Coleman as a flex too. We got a little rookie love from Xavier Worthy, man. It's got me feeling confident in some of these rookies, you know. I like Keon Coleman as a flex start too, Trey.
I like it.
Hey, and Fantasy Football Hustler says Fields sucks. He is not a good NFL quarterback. He's only good for fantasy leagues with 4-point passing touchdowns.
Yeah, man. I don't think Fields is a great quarterback. I've never said he was a great quarterback. His legs get fantasy points, and then that's what you're banking on if you start Fields.
And the game is going on right now. Green Bay interception. McKinney INT, baby. Oh, man. Good stuff. I love it. Let's see. Let's see. Poker Gut says Xavier Leggett has that Forrest Gump aspect sleeper. Ooh.
And that Forrest Gump accent. No, I'm just kidding. The more the Bubba Gump accent. But no, yeah, I like Xavier Leggett as a sleeper. It's not somebody I'm starting this week, but it's definitely somebody I'm excited to watch.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game because I don't want to miss any more of the Green Bay game. Let's go. Titans at the Bears, Trey.
Over under for this game is 44.5 points. Vegas have the Bears picked to win by 3.5. Caleb Williams, week 1. How's it going to go? I'm going Titans, baby. Give me Titans with the dub.
I'm taking the Bears, baby. I'm taking that. That defense was solid last season. Okay. Now they got Caleb Williams, which is basically the only, I know the whole team is leaning on him, but it's basically the only question I actually have for the Bears. They have a good defense. They've got some amazing wide receivers, and Keenan Allen, DJ Moore pairing is going to be great. DeAndre Swift, I know it's going to be like a 3-headed backfield, but I think that's the best for DeAndre Swift because I think he, his legs get tired, and I really like him. I really like him not getting full status, almost like a Tony Pollard type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets tired, so you want to save him. And I think he'll be better down the stretch because of it, Trey.
Sure. My thing with Caleb Williams is I just worry about his time in the pocket and how long he holds the football. I know he was able to evade some really cool plays in the preseason, but is that going to work against, the starters?
Right.
Who knows? So that's the only thing that worries me. And this Titans defense is not a joke. So that's why I lean the Titans here. But jumping into my Titans starts, Will Levis in super flex leagues all day. I'm happy starting him. Tony Pollard, I think you can flex this guy. Calvin Ridley, you got to fire him up. He's listed as wide receiver 1 in the depth chart. DeAndre Hopkins, questionable. If he plays, I would honestly be worried to start him. But if you drafted him, I think you need to in the flex. And then Tyler Boyd, I'm not touching right now. I don't want to start Chico Conquo either. Chico Conquo probably later down the road will be a waiver wire ad when there's a couple of tight ends injured. It's kind of every year thing, but he's just not that great tight end that you want to start in week 1.
And I missed it. Will Levis. Starting them?
Super flex.
Yeah, we are starting them in the super flex.
Yes, sir.
We're in a Battle of the Brands hosted by the Fantasy Football Hustler, who's just popping in the comments. I believe we got him as our second quarterback, and that was so we could stack up on those skill positions. Right?
Yeah, and then Tiaje Spears, is probably going to get the groundwork with Tony Pollard getting the air work. It's somebody that I don't want to start. In deep 16-team leagues maybe, but I'm just trying to stay away.
Pollard too? You staying away?
No, I'm flexing Pollard. I'm down to flex Pollard in full PPR situations.
Absolutely, yeah. And like we said a little bit already, Pollard when he has strong legs and is not being ran too much is the best Pollard that we've seen. Is the best version of himself.
For sure. Jumping to my Bears starts. I personally wouldn't start Caleb Williams in a single QB league. But if you drafted him as your starting quarterback, you're starting him up, and you got big balls. This guy,
big balls. This guy, I don't know, man. He was going high, bro. Right after that elite quarterback tier, it was Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. At least with his draft capital, people are very confident in Caleb Williams. I think that he's going to be getting started in a lot of leagues, and I don't think it's terrible.
I just personally something I wouldn't do. Now, Superflex leagues, I don't think I have a problem starting Caleb Williams, but single QB, it's just hard for me to rely on a rookie in week 1 as my starting QB.
I agree.
However, DeAndre Swift, I think, is a manageable flex. Yeah. I think he's going to get a little bit of work. DJ Moore, I'm happy starting. Keenan Allen, I would try to bench this week.
Yeah.
He's questionable, so it's week 1. Maybe he explodes, but I kind of want to see that first explosion on the Bears. I drafted him in a lot of places, but it's not somebody that I'm just happy to throw in week 1 ready to go. And then Romo Dunze, I personally would try to bench this guy. I know a lot of people drafted him to start him, and he did okay in the preseason, but there's a lot of mouths to feed on this team, and my smash start of the week is a guy that I definitely would be starting. Cole Kmet, baby. Let's get some Cole Kmet. I think he's going to have a solid game, man.
Even with all those mouths to feed, huh?
I think Cole Kmet's mouth is going to be the biggest one with the most food in it.
Oh, Gerald Everett is also over there, tight end. Cole Kmet, good blocking tight end, but a great catching tight end as well. I like it, Trey. I like it. It's the thing. I think I actually said earlier that Curtis Samuel had a heel injury, and That's actually Keenan Allen. I was getting injuries mixed up. Keenan Allen is the one with the heel injury. Curtis Samuel has turf toe. I just wanted to make sure I straightened that out. But the Keenan Allen of it all, man, is very interesting. Like, I want to start him. Like, I feel like I'll be upset if I don't start him, and he does well. But if I have a different or maybe a little bit higher ranked wide receiver, I agree with you in sitting Keenan Allen and maybe starting that guy up better.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy stuff. Let's move on to the next game, buddy. We got the Jaguars at the Dolphins.
Over under for this game is
3.5 points.
Sorry, I lost the over-under on my screen, but I got the Dolphins winning. Vegas has the Dolphins winning by 3.5 points. That's where you're coming up with that number. And yeah, I think the Dolphins win this game. I think this is going to be a really good game, though. I think people might be sleeping on this game a little bit, maybe not. I don't know, but I feel like the vibe with the Jags is kind of off right now. Mm-hmm. And even the Dolphins a little bit. It feels like the vibe is a little off, but I think this is going to be a solid game, and I've got the Dolphins picked to win.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, I got the Dolphins take the win too, and it's strictly because Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Mostert, A-Chain, all these guys really took off at the first half of last season, and I really think that's probably what's going to happen again. You know, like the Dolphins are going to be one of those teams that are talked about so much, and hopefully they don't fall off because I do have some shares of Tua in a few places, and I got a little bit of Tyreek this year. I'm pretty happy about that. Tyreek managed to stay fantasy relevant all season. Tua really took a dip, but I got the Dolphins taking the W in this game. Let's see. Let's start with the Jags starts. I'm starting T-Law, Travis Etienne. Christian Kirk is the wide receiver 1 on this team. Did you realize that?
I've been knowing that.
I didn't realize he had been moved up that much. I've heard barely anything about Christian Kirk so far. It's just crazy to me that he is the wide receiver 1, and I'm gonna start him. I'm starting Christian Kirk.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is that calf injury that he's been working with. I think he'll be fine this week. But that's one of my hesitance from drafting him in all my drafts. I love me some Christian Kirk. I love him as a wide receiver 1. But that calf injury, man, that just screams hamstring to me, and or other opportunities for problems, and that definitely scares me. But yeah, I'm ready to fire him up this week.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Good stuff. Evan Ingram is another guy that you are definitely starting. We saw him in the preseason do some good stuff, man. Do some really good stuff. 2-touchdown game in the preseason. Now, look, I want to talk about a couple guys on the Jaguars. Parker Washington, we saw him like a waiver wire ad like crazy. It didn't really take off, but he's somebody to keep your eye on. Parker Washington and Gabe Davis. I know that nobody's talking about Gabe Davis, but I'm gonna tell you this: the Jaguars are not using Gabe Davis the same way the Bills did. The Bills use Gabe Davis in a lot of blocking type stuff because he is a good blocking, but I think they're going to use him more in the slot, and I think we're going to be surprised by the amount of targets and stuff that Gabe Davis actually does get. So keep your eye on Gabe Davis and look for Tank Bigsby to have an increased role. He is the RB2 on the Jaguars now. So ETN goes down. It's Tank Bigsby time.
Tank.
Will you like it, buddy, though? You like all that?
I like all that.
All right. Let's move to the Dolphins, and I'm going to hit up the couple of comments going on down there. Poker Guts says, I got minus 3.5 on Miami. Okay, there you go. Yeah. I mean, that's Vegas odds, right? Yep. Wasn't it? Minus. Maybe he was just trying to help us get there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Dolphins start Tua, start Raheem Mostert, Devin A-Chain. You drafted him so high, you're going to have to start him up. Tyreek, Waddle, start him up. Jonnu Smith is the tight end 1 over there. So I've been hearing that the Dolphins are really going to use Jonnu Smith in some interesting ways. Yeah. So keep an eye on that. And I might start Jonnu Smith in those deeper type leagues, Trey.
I think I would start Jonnu Smith in a DFS situation, daily fantasy. Mm-hmm. Get you sure. That. That's how you win the big bucks. Is finding those diamonds in the rough. Value,
baby, value all around. And Poker Guts keeping us going, letting us know what's going on. Turnover, Green Bay, sack, fumble.
Oh, let's go.
Oh man, you're rooting for the Eagles, huh?
All day,
even against the Packers.
Eagles fly.
I don't like the way you did that. I'm just saying. Let's go, Pack, Poker Guts. We got a lot of Packers fans that
We
watch.
do. We got a lot of Packers fans that watch us.
We do. Hey, we were talking a little bit about Cole Kmet being your start of the week. Trey, Fantasy Football Hustler says, I hate Cole Kmet so much. I hope you're right because I have him in a spot. I'm trying to trade him.
Yeah, man, I hated Cole Kmet all year last year and the year previous. I just think that him and Caleb Williams are going to have a lot better situation than Justin Fields had with Cole Kmet. I'm praying for it because I think Cole Kmet is actually a solid tight end. He just hasn't had the opportunity that he needs.
Yeah, sure. I get that. Oh, hey, let's go. No, Jalen Hurts fumble.
Oof, what is that, an interception and a fumble? What are we doing?
Cry, Eagles, cry. Boo, boo, hoo. And the Roll Fantasy Football says, I'm a Chargers fan, so shout out to Chargers fan over there. Appreciate it, man. I know Poker Guts is a Packers fan. What do you think Huss has a team? Is he? I was just thinking about that. Fantasy
He's
Football
a Raiders
Hustler.
fan, I thought.
Yeah, what?
Raiders?
Maybe. I mean, Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
He lives all out there in Vegas. And he said, Poker Guts says, I'm not a Green Bay fan. I just got Green Bay in a 6-leg parlay.
There you go.
Let's go, baby.
Now I'm rooting for Green Bay just so Duke can win the 6th leg.
There you go. Showing some love. Show us some love, by the way. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Fourth and Flex if you haven't done so already. Appreciate it. Let's go. Let's see. Let's get to the next game, buddy. Let's go to the next one here. Let's go. We got the Broncos at the Seahawks.
Over-under for this game is 41.5 points. Vegas have the Seahawks picked to win by 6. And I think this was Broncos-Seahawks played week 1 last year. And the Broncos won, right? With Russell Wilson just barely.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But I think the Seahawks get the dub on this one. I think the Russell Wilson factor is gone. I do like Bo Nix, and I'm rising on him, but I think the Seahawks have a solid team, and they stayed consistent, so I'm going to go Seahawks here.
Oof, I'm taking the Broncos, man. Bo Nix season is here. Bo Nix for rookie of the year, man. I'm just saying. I'm gonna throw some money down on that, bro. 11-1 odds. You think it'd be a little bit higher, but hey, I like it still. Give me the Bo Nix of it all.
Jumping into my Broncos starts. Bo Nix in Superflex leagues, if you're that kind of guy to take a risk on it, I mean, that's a big risk to take, but, say you're in a 16-man Superflex, I don't hate it. Not a lot of quarterbacks out there past Bo Nix. Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams is listed as a starter, but these guys are probably going to split work. Personally, I like Jaleel better, but I think that, a betting man is probably rolling with Javonte. Personally, I don't want to start either of them. If you're going to flex one, I would probably flex Javonte, but I think Jaleel McLaughlin is going to surprise people this year. Cortland Sutton, I think you can start, but don't get excited. Josh Reynolds, I'm not starting him. Adam Troutman at the tight end, I'm not looking that way. Marvin Mims, I'm not starting him, but this is a guy that I think you should really pay attention to. Marvin Mims, I think, is a great wide receiver. Just hasn't got that opportunity that he deserves just yet. But I'm excited to see Marvin Mims play this year.
I seen that when we drafted you, when we were in deep in those rounds, you picked up Marvin Mims. So
as my last pick in a 16-man, yes, sir.
Last pick in the 16-man, Marvin Mims. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I agree with you. He really hasn't had the chance, but we'll see, man. I like it. I'm definitely put him on the watch list. You know what I mean?
Jump into my Seahawks starts just in this game specifically against the Broncos. I think Geno Flex is okay for Super Flex, or Geno Smith, not Geno Flex.
I know what you meant, buddy.
Yeah, Geno Smith is okay in Super Flex leagues just for this week. He's got DK Metcalf over there, who's a smash start for me, who I think is going to have a great game this week. Kenneth Walker, I think you can start. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigma, I probably wouldn't start him. Even if you drafted him, I think I'd just leave him on the bench for now and see what it looks like. And Tyler Lockett was left off the board in so many drafts. It was devastating to me to watch. He is questionable this week, and I would not start him.
Me neither, buddy. Me neither. Poker Guts says start Metcalf, Trey.
100%. And then Noah Fant, it's probably going to be a committee situation for the Seahawks, but I don't know. The Seahawks have always done kind of a committee tight end situation, but with the new coach over there, I've heard things that Noah Fant is going to get a lot more use. And so if Noah Fant, sit him this week, obviously, but he might be a waiver wire target this week.
He might be. Yeah, Will Dissly went somewhere else. Noah Fant is the only one left over there, so they're definitely getting the tight end love over there. Obviously, they felt like he was the best guy for the job. And Poker Gut says Tyler Lockett as a DFS budget pick. So
yeah, man, I bet he's the cheapest he's ever been in DFS. The fact that he was left off the board in so many drafts I was in.
I hear it, buddy. I hear it. Beautiful stuff, Trey, as per usual. Let's go to the next game, man. We got a couple more left, guys. You still have time to throw down some of those fantasy football questions down in the comments. Show your boys some love, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
Yes, sir.
Next game, though, we've got the Raiders at the Chargers. By the way, Huss, I just want to point that out. Huss says, I hate – oh, wait, wrong one. Huss said he's a Chargers fan, or he used to be a Chargers fan until they moved to L.A. Now I'm a free agent.
Okay. But Raiders at Chargers, over-under is 40 points. Vegas have the Chargers picked to win by 3, and I guess it's just an upset week for me because I'm taking the Raiders here.
I'm taking the Raiders for the dub too, man. There's just I don't know what's going on with the Chargers, man. Like they just dumped everything. I guess they're trying to rebuild. They're in a rebuild year. I think Gardner Minshew is realizing like, hey man, because he talks like that. Yeah. Hey man, this is my last chance, boy. I'm gonna get out there and start slanging that bad boy around there. Plus, they got the coach over there, man, who just like is ready to, like he actually won. Like a lot of times when you have one of those interim coaches come in, like they never end up staying there, never end up being the guy. But he is the guy. He commanded to be the guy, and he's going to show us why, I think.
Yeah, and the Raiders' defense isn't a joke either. You got to keep that in mind when you're talking about winning and losing games. On top of that, and it might just be my bias because Gardner Minshew is one of my top 10 favorite quarterbacks in the league, has been for several years. And I don't know if it's his swagger or what it is about him, but I just love this dude. And I'm really excited to see him finally get that opportunity. And I think he's going to show up and show out.
I think I like about Gardner Minshew is that he lives in a van down by the river in the off season, man. So he's definitely that dude, man. I really, I'm seeing him a lot more in clips and stuff like that, and we're getting a lot more of his personality out. Like it's awesome. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him, man. I hope it continues.
Yes, sir.
Let's get some Raiders starts here. And we were just talking about Gardner Minshew in the super flex type thing. I think you could start him because I think he's going to be slanging that bad boy. Zamir White, RB1. Start him up. Let's see here. Devonta Adams, I'm starting him up. Jacoby Myers, I think, is one of those deep sleeper guys that it might be worth a flex spot this week. I mean, you might have him there already. Who knows? But Brock Bowers, I like starting up Brock Bowers. I know I was talking to some folks, and they're not so high on Brock Bowers, but he's a tight end one. They've got Michael Mayer in his second year. Brock Bowers in his first year as a rookie, and he's tight end one. I think we're going to see some good stuff out of the tight end packages and stuff like that we get from the Raiders, and I'm excited to see how that whole thing shakes out, buddy.
For sure.
And did you know that Alexander Madison was the RB2 over there on the Raiders?
I did, actually. I drafted him in one league at the very bottom of my board just in case. I've seen Alexander Madison do some big games with Dalvin Cook out. And, Zamir White isn't promised. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So. And that's my whole thing, the handcuff there. And you know what? I bet we see a split backfield too. So I really think Alexander Madison, someone you didn't hear really anything about, is worth it, Trey. He's worth it. But let's get to the Chargers starts. Justin Herbert, Joshua Palmer, the wide receiver one who was just dropping in drafts. And I feel like I got him for so much value in so many drafts. I like Joshua Palmer to start it up. And Gus Edwards, I'd start, and J.K. Dobbins, I'd flex. When you look at the depth chart, they got J.K. Dobbins as the number 2, Gus Edwards as the number 1. These guys got to be best friends as long as they've been together. So they probably work really well together. I'm thinking we're going to see maybe a 60-40, Gus Edwards 60, JK 40, and that's to keep him as healthy as they can type of thing,
Yeah, so who do you think scores more fantasy points in this game?
JK or Gus? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're asking? I'll go Gus. Honestly, JK, I don't know. Maybe JK's probably.
I'm going JK, baby.
He keeps tearing that ACL, man.
But this is week 1, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think he tore it in week 1. Was it last year?
Year before, I think, in the preseason, even maybe.
JK. Oh man, good stuff, man. Let's see. Poker Guts says I don't touch the Raiders game. It's a toss up, and he said, "Yeah,
definitely a toss up.
Minshew is the Theo Vaughn of the NFL. I like that comparison.
And that's why I love him.
That must be it, Trey. That must be it. Oh, man. The fantasy roll says Jonnu was tight end 17 last year as a backup. I really like him as a backup tight end.
Yeah.
In fantasy.
Sneaky sleeper.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Oh, man, we're moving right along. We got a couple games left. Still some time to throw something down in the comments and hit the like button for you boys. Let's get to the next one, Trey. We've got the Cowboys at the Browns.
Over-under for this game is 41 points, and I had to double-check my screen because Vegas has the Browns picked to win by 2.5, and I'm smashing the Cowboys on this game.
I'm taking
I easily see the Cowboys winning this game. I'm just not and never have been since Deshaun Watson left Houston be a Deshaun Watson believer. And I just think the Cowboys, they have what it takes right now to get the dub here.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you, man. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game as well, but let's not I don't want to say sleep on him Deshaun Watson, but he did have a couple games, man, where he was doing okay. I feel like he got his money, so he wasn't really all in last season, and I'm not sure why exactly. Like when I say he got his money, I mean like guaranteed money. So like, why risk it when you're injured or whatever? But there were some games where I saw Deshaun Watson play that I was like, maybe. So maybe just keep an eye on old Deshaun,
Yeah, man. Jumping to my Cowboys starts. You're firing up Dak Prescott. You're firing up CeeDee Lamb. Hopefully you got the stack. If you didn't get the CeeDee Lamb stack, you're firing up Jake Ferguson, who I think is a good start this week.
I like that.
Zeke Elliott, I think I personally want to bench him, but if you need to flex him, I think you can probably make it manageable. I'm still sitting Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert this week. I want to see a little bit more out of Brandon Cooks.
Absolutely, yeah.
For my Brown starts, Amari Cooper, I'm definitely starting. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is flexible. Jerome Ford, I think, is probably the best start on this team.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting Elijah Moore. I'm sitting David Njoku, and I'm sitting Deshaun Watson. You're going to have to make me be a believer, Deshaun Watson, because I'm just not one. I'm starting Gardner Minshew over Deshaun Watson.
You think Micah Parsons gets a sack in this game?
Yeah, I'll roll with that.
Okay. All right. I like it. Deshaun Watson, not as elusive as he used to be, but still got it a little bit down there. So
I'm not saying he's not worth having a starting position in the league. I'm just saying he's my least favorite.
I like it. He's not in your top 10 with Gardner Minshew is what you're saying.
That's right, baby.
I like it. Oh, the roll says I'm starting Dobbins in one league over Pollard. Might as well start him while I can.
There you go.
Exactly what we're saying, buddy. Exactly. Let's keep it rolling, baby. Let's keep it rolling to the next game. I've got the Commanders at the Buccaneers, Trey.
Over-under for this game is 42.5 points. Vegas has the Buccaneers picked to win by 3.5.
And
I'll go with the Bucs.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay, is it because rookie quarterback and it's the Commanders? Is that what's doing it for you, or what?
No, it's because of the Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Godwin of it all.
Yeah, boy, yeah. Like people are sleeping on us, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Poker Guts is with us too. Bucks -3. Easy.
Smash.
I'm a Tampa Bay fan. What's happening, Poker Guys? You just became my best friend, man. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan for life, my friend. I love it. Let's get into it. By the way, I got the Bucks taking the dub. Also.
Yeah, we know.
I just feel like they can win every game if they really wanted to. Probably won't happen, but I feel like they could.
If you're a newcomer to this show, we've been doing this 3 years, and I think every time we've had a Bucks game, Josh has picked the Bucks no matter how deep the deficit.
Yeah. What can I say, man? I have faith in my guys. Poker Guts says Bucky Irving and McMillan going to be huge this year. Bucky Irving, I'm really excited. I took him in some drafts, man. Like as my last pick, deep in drafts. I feel like between Rashad White and Bucky Irving, I think we're gonna have a better run game, and I'm excited to see what McMillan does in the air for sure. But let's get to some Commander starts. Jaden Daniels was drafted a lot higher than you would imagine, and that's because of his preseason play. And if you drafted him as high as you did, I like starting him up. Definitely in Superflex, start him up. Absolutely. I'm flexing Brian Robinson, but I'm starting Austin Eckler, man.
Yeah.
People are sleeping on Austin Eckler, man. This guy was a top 2 pick last season. Like, you think he's fallen that far? This guy's a monster. I know it's a Bucs D that concentrates on the run, but one place we are weak is at the side, the PPR action going on there, and that is Austin Eckler's bag, okay? Start Terry McLaurin, start Zach Ertz, the tight end 1 over there, Trey.
Yeah, man, the Zach Ertz thing scares me a little bit,
Sure.
but I like everything else. I love the Austin Eckler PPR, man. I think he's going to have, the coach is talking about how big of a monster he is and how much he loves him in their offense, and so I'm excited for Austin Eckler. I think he was a steal in every draft. And I think I or you got them in every draft that we're in. So we're riding with Austin Eckler.
I made it a point to hop on that ride, you know what I mean?
Yes,
and the Zach Ertz thing, man, like, you could basically maybe start almost every tight end because of the position being so volatile, I mean, like, I'm not saying you could start every tight end, but I'm just saying, like, if you're the tight end 1, there's a chance that they're going to get six points for you, like, which is about what you're going to get from normal tight ends. Just saying. Let's get to the Buccaneers. Start Baker Mayfield, Rashad White, Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is going to be another draft steal that people were sleeping on. Chris Godwin definitely going to be a lot better than people are realizing. And I'm sitting Kate Otten, Trey.
Yeah, are you starting Baker Mayfield in single QB leagues?
I will, absolutely. I think he's going to.
I know you will.
I will, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, they're sleeping on Baker, man. They always did. I said it last year, could be a top 15 quarterback, and was I wrong? Did we start him in a couple leagues all the time in a single quarterback trade? Huh?
You'll never live it down.
Yeah, you're right. I got him as going top 10 this year too, man. Just saying.
Let's roll.
But do you like the starts, Trey?
I like it.
Let's move on to the next one, man. And this is a matchup I'm so excited about. It's Sunday Night Football. We've got the Rams at the Lions.
My favorite game of the week.
Yeah.
Over-under for this game is 52. Also the highest over-under of the week.
Woof.
And Vegas have the Lions picked to win by 4.5, baby. And you know what? This is the toughest decision for me to make, but I'm going to roll with the Lions here.
I'm taking the Rams to get the dub in this game, man. Just a lot of experience on that side of the ball. I hate to see the Lions get the first L, and Poker Guts says take the over.
Smash.
Get into it, Trey.
Jumping into my Rams starts, you're starting Matthew Stafford, you're starting Cooper Kupp, you're starting Puka Nacua, questionable, but I think he's worthy. Kyron Williams is a smash start. I don't care what anybody says about returning punts. Kyron Williams is going to be a dude this year. Kobe Parkinson at tight end, one of those guys that I think you could probably flex. I've been hearing a lot of good things about him, and then from deep, Twitter vibes and stuff like that. And I'm excited a little bit to watch Kobe Parkinson.
Yeah.
Demarcus Robinson is a guy that I'm not starting, but I'm keeping my eye on.
Absolutely.
I think y'all, if y'all don't know that name, you will by the end of the season.
Wide receiver 3 on the Rams. Yeah, absolutely, man. This guy's been on nothing but good teams, honestly. That's why he's managed to stay in the NFL, I think. He was at the Ravens for a while. He was at the Chiefs first, and the Ravens, and he's been on the Rams for the last couple of years. And one of those guys, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, goes out. This guy moves up to the wide receiver 2, man, and he was so low. There were probably drafts where he didn't get drafted, and like almost absolutely that happened a lot, So he is definitely someone to keep your eye on, man. Throw him in your watch list for sure, Trey.
Jumping to my Lions starts, Jared Goff, I think is manageable start. Sam Laporta, you definitely are starting him. You drafted him, probably tied him 1. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got him in the first round, and you got to start him. Jahmyr Gibbs, you fire him up. David Montgomery, I think you can flex him, man. And then Jameson Williams is somebody I'm not really wanting to start this week. He's going to be an up and down kind of guy, but if you did draft him and you need to start him, you got to hope for the best because he's that guy that's going to have a great week and a sad week and a great week and a sad week. But this could be, this kind of matchup is a matchup where I would lean for him to have a great week.
Sure.
And then I'm sitting Khalif Raymond.
Okay. Yeah. I like it, Trey. I'm with you on that. Let's move it. Let's keep it going. We got one more game?
One more.
We got one more game, man. Let's get to it. We got the Jets at the 49ers on Monday Night Football.
Over-under for this game is 43.5 points, and Vegas have the Niners picked to win by 4.5. And all I got to say is if Aaron Rodgers plays more than 4 snaps, I'm going with the Jets.
Okay. I mean, there are a lot of people are saying this is the it's going to be the downfall of the 49ers this season. Why not start with Aaron Rodgers at the 49, like at their home stadium, in the 49ers? But why not, Trey? I hope you're right. I want you to be right. But I'm taking the Niners for the dub. Poker Guts, what you got, man? You taking Niners or Jets? And is that a part of your parlay down there, buddy? Let me know.
One thing I want to say about the Jets and the Niners, this is kind of that Aaron Rodgers game where, he's still got a grudge towards the Niners. They took Alex Smith first overall instead of him, and that really hurt his ego. He went to Cal State, so he's a homer in a sense. He's a Niners fan.
Yeah.
And what did he get out of it? Losing to them 4 times in the championship. So this is kind of that, I'm not on Green Bay no more. I'm on the Jets. It's a new team, and the Niners don't own the Jets. They own the Packers. So here I am, baby.
Poker Guts says, I don't touch this one.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't blame you. That's a tough one. Let's get to some Jets starts. Aaron Rodgers, you can start him. Breece Hall, you're definitely starting him. Garrett Wilson, start him up. Mike Williams is healthy, coming back from ACL. I'd like Mike Williams as a start here. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 2. He's not on the depth chart as that, but I really think Mike Williams is a guy that can get open. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that can see when a big body receiver gets open, and I think we're going to see that in this first game. And Tyler Conklin, I think, is a very manageable tight end to get going here, Trey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting to the Niners, though, CMC start, of course. Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel start. I don't like starting Brandon Ayuk. And
Me neither.
I would start Kittle, though. Start Kittle. You on with me on the not starting Ayuk?
I mean, obviously, if you drafted him to that spot, you're starting Brandon Ayuk. But I personally did not draft him because I am scared to start him.
Yeah. I've had him in the league before, and he was just always so up and down.
Yep.
He would have a couple weeks of consistency, and then that would basically be it. And then that's probably part of the reason that I want to see first. Like, there's so much animosity there too. We'll just see how it shakes out, Trey.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Whew, man. Are you excited?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Long show, a lot of games to get through. No buys this week. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I love it. No bye weeks, obviously, so there's none of that going on. Before we go, I want to just shout out, man, one of our young fans, man, getting some of our gear over. If you go down the description, you can get some of this gear too. My boy rocking the 4th and Flex shirt over there, man. I'm loving it. Cooper, our boy Coop Dog, played a little Fortnite with this dude too, man. Just rocking the gear. I told him to send me a picture. I'll put you on the show, baby. Look at that nice shirt right there.
I love it.
I love it too, buddy. I love it too, man. Again, go down in the description, get you some swaggy gear, and show us some love.
Do it.
And I'm going to say it one more time, man. Don't forget to check out our members only group. Not our OnlyFans, don't worry, but it's our members only group, man. Become a Flexaholic, become a part of the family. You're going to get in one-on-one chats with your boys, and we're going to help you get to that fantasy championship, right?
All day.
Yes, sir, man. Let's see what we got here. Real quick, before we go, Poker Guts says, how does Kittle not have a Skittles commercial?
Yeah, I think that happens this year.
George Skittles? That is a very solid question.
Him and Marshawn tag team with the Skittles.
Yeah, Marshawn's got that kind of sewed up. Maybe that's why. But I love that. All right, guys, it's that time. I just want to let you know, thank you guys so much for watching, and we shall see thee on the next one.
Peace. Balls of steel, this guy. He's got big balls.